like,
Long time. I think like 6 years.
It's been a long time. You guys remember that we started this in PU's living room, right? First set, hosting the presence. Hey,
Yeah.
Holy Spirit.
Actually.
and then we found ourselves at Bethel.
Oh, that's true.
Went
That's very true.
in May and then we went again in October
Yeah.
because of hosting the presence.
Wow. Who were the people? Like, was this
Yes,
I think-
all of us now. We still have Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Rolly.
Sarah Maka?
Yes,
my
Rolly.
God. Rolly. What was that thing Rolly used to so good? There was somebody else. Shola Adiola.
Yeah.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
I was about to say
That's
Michael,
it.
but Michael is
I'm
here.
here. I'm here present.
Michael was constantly the only other guy apart from me. Oh, you can't forget Auntie Amor too.
Of course.
And Victor. Bam was part
And Annie.
hosting the presence too.
Wow.
Yeah.
My gosh. What a journey.
It's been a journey.
Yeah.
And we're here because of
Pastor Yudi.
Yes. But you know, guys, before HTP, just talking about this and knowing how much it means to us, we have to remember, or I like to remember, that this is just a passion of a man who likes to go on a journey of discovering God and taking his friends with him. Because I remember Michael when we were in TWB and but you guys all remember,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
he called us to go on a purpose journey. He said,
Yes, we read that book.
Purpose Driven Life.
Purpose Driven Life.
And he
Oh my
started
gosh,
groups
yeah.
on
that made me-
Blackberry.
Yeah.
Praying.
But that made me resign actually because I was in investment banking.
Wow.
That's it. And this is how you found your purpose. I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
really?
Literally finding your purpose.
Man, like honestly, the one thing I'll give PU any day is that his heart has always been about revival and people.
Yes.
Like when he finds God, it's his heart to bring people into it and just push you to pursue. And just like you said, I'm in Bethel because we one time in 2016 were gathered by Pastor Yudi in his living room, and look where we all are now.
Oh my God, you guys, treasure hunt stories.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you remember our first treasure
Yeah, the
hunt?
umbrella and the phone.
You guys
went to Michael's house.
Yeah. I still remember I was laughing and wondering, like, are we sure we're really
I
here
know.
with God?
And then we really saw the woman under the umbrella.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was I
You
went
had
with
seen? What did you see?
I saw
again?
the umbrella and I saw, like, I think I heard a phone ringing. And I think
Okay.
we were driving down, I think it was Victor Ellen, if I remember.
Yes, I had heard the
Victor
name
Allen?
Ologo Agbaje.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And then we
I see Yoruba has not improved.
whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember what you?
But I remember
Yeah.
you guys came over,
Yeah.
and then we actually started getting
Other words.
words, basically the lazy eye, young girl, colorful dress.
Yes.
And I remember us going to Ice Cream
Ice Cream
Factory,
Factory.
Yes.
and sitting there for a while and going, this is never going to happen, because how do you find someone with lazy eye
And colorful
and a
dresses.
colorful dress at the same time? And I remember when we're about to leave,
Yeah.
a mother brings her daughter in, lazy eye, colorful
Dress.
dress.
No, wait, what you're
God,
forgetting,
come
Michael, is
on,
it wasn't
listen.
even just colorful dress. You had specific colors.
Colors,
It was
yeah, and
blue,
it actually
white,
matched.
and green.
Yep, and it actually matched the
Wow.
colors.
I
Actually.
think another
Actually
crazy
met
one
the
I
colors.
remember is that you had baseball hats.
Yes.
And then while we were talking to that guy, we were praying for the woman under the umbrella. We saw a guy
With a baseball
literally
With the
a
baseball
blue
hat.
baseball hat, and then we ran after. We drove
Oh, wow.
to find him,
Wow.
and we ministered
The
to him. And the guy, yes.
I was
But you
with
remember,
Rolly,
Yeah. okay.
and she came to get me. And the first thing I told her was, PU has said we will get words. I can't hear anything. The only thing I can hear is Black Gates. And she looked at me, and then she said she heard like a coffee shop. And there was one on Ademola Adetokunbo. And we go there. And before we get there, I remember mentioning an artwork, a young guy, blah, blah, blah. We went there, and just as we entered, there he was. Young guy by the artwork,
I remember
by
that
the wall.
story. Wow.
And it blew my mind.
Wow.
The simplicity with which PU was trying to make us see how God speaks to us.
Yeah.
And adding the little things together. I remember one thing we always used to tell them was, God highlighted you to me.
Yeah.
And a person like, this is spooky.
Yeah.
But by the time we started telling them, we started to tell them intimate stuff that only a person who knew them
Yeah,
could
we know,
know.
yeah.
It just made their hearts warm. You
Yeah.
guys remember Shola and Sarah's testimony about the lady
guy with the
with
wrist. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
good.
I even
Yeah.
wanted to. I remember the unique story. You and Shola
The drug place.
crossed and cream.
Croston Crib.
Yes.
Yeah,
you
praying for
We had a
that. I
couple-
never
I had a couple
forgot.
of
Please
encounters.
remind us.
Yeah, we had a couple of encounters. So we went to Croston Crim, and one was a guy with who had had an accident, and so one of his hands were affected. I think Shola got that, and so Shola literally prayed,
And he started to
And it
move.
was swollen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you guys
Yes.
were praying, the
Put his hand in
she
between.
literally felt the hand.
and I was like, we're doing it. And we had a second one, and it had to do with mustard colored dress. A girl with mustard colored dress who was going through something emotional, and clearly I couldn't be the one to share that with her. So Shola literally, and the girl showed up. And she showed up to actually meet with this guy.
Yeah.
And Shola was able to talk to her. And,
Yeah.
but I think the one that actually blew my mind was we went to Jakonde, the right side of Jakonde, at night.
Remember that? Yes, that was an interesting one.
You know, when Shola said, let's go, I was like, oh. If you know. And we got there. I'd never been to that side. I had no clue what was
So
happening there, but my
90.
goodness, drugs
Wow.
and all. And the guy we were looking for
there.
was actually there. I don't know about you. I've never had an encounter with someone who's high, anything, but the fact that God, out of all of them, picked this guy, that blew my mind.
Like, I feel like one of the biggest impact for me is to realize, and I remember that's one thing that PU always made us, see that God is always willing to encounter His people. We just need to be more conscious to see what He's doing in the environment. And I recognize that just even that mindset, knowing that I don't have to be a certain kind of person. All I need to do is say yes to God.
Surrender.
Through ordinary people like
Yeah.
us, we've seen blind eyes open. We've seen people get healed. We've seen the lame walk. Just through ordinary people.
It's funny we talk about 6 years ago,
Yeah.
but I think for most of us that journey started way before that.
Yeah.
Started with the purpose-driven
Oh yeah. Oh my God. yes,
life, as
that was
you've
it.
mentioned, and he's been consistent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is story of a man who literally, and like you guys have described, has gone after God with everything. And it's okay to stand outside and say, well, that's just one man. But there's something different about the family. You literally go into that family. I call her my older sister.
Shout out and
The kids are amazing.
Sarah, Victor.
Literally amazing. The way they carry themselves, the way they've been raised, it's hard to walk in there and not desire the same for yourself.
Absolutely.
That a wife would let go of her husband and allow the husband pursue his purpose and support him. It's
Phenomenal.
It's beyond words. When I haven't seen anyone exhibit God the way PU does. I mean, how do you explain holding classes on Saturday? Multiple classes on a Saturday, Sunday. You've given up your weekend, a busy executive basically, doing this consistently. You've got a family.
And his wife was.
By the way, as in, and we can call him.
We were
anytime,
always
just
calling.
ask him, like, oh, this is what I'm going
He
through.
will
and
never
it's
say,
experience.
"Call
He'll
me
never say,
back."
call me back. Wherever he is, if he's in Nigeria, if he's outside of Nigeria, pick up his call, he'll talk to you. There's never anything. I think one thing about P that I like the most is like when I tell him things, even things that maybe I've done something wrong, and I'm like, oh, I just want to talk to you. There's never anything of
you
surprise,
first.
like, oh my God, you did that. It's
Yes.
always a thing of his mind is like open and he's just ready to walk you through. Like he always like, okay,
Come
good.
home.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
This is
It's fine. That
home.
happened, but that's fine. That's fine. You know, this is the next step. This is a solution.
So in short, PU, we love you, and
you.
all
Oh,
of
gosh.
this is just to show the
Just a
world, or show
fraction.
people, what your heart really is about. And we're so honored that you chose us to be on this journey, and for all the other people that you've chosen to
I'm not gonna cry.
No crying.
So we absolutely love you. I
Love
pray
you.
that your mind is blown, that
Yes.
your heart is touched, and
Yes.
you're deeply impacted by this gesture. And to everybody else watching, if you felt a little jealous and you're wondering
How
do you get on this, Revival School.
Yep.
Check out the Revival School, or you're going to see more details on the screen. Sign up and get your life on track. Encounter God, be impacted, and also see God move through you. Yeah.
Amazing.
I guess that's a good point to welcome you all, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, wherever you're coming from, to an evening of worship and prophecy with the community. I'm just going to tell you a bit of who you're going to expect to hear from this evening. You're going to be listening to, we have our very own Nosa. Nosa is in-house, he's our brother, he's our friend, he's part of the community. I can go on and on. So Nosa, we love you, and he's an amazing worshiper. He has a heart for God.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Crazy people out there. We have Iwisi Jacob as well joining us. Thank you for joining us tonight. Great to meet you, ma'am. We also have Mazino. I don't think I've ever met Mazino.
Amazing.
I'm looking forward to worship with Mazino. And who else do we have?
Kingdom Sound.
We have our very own Kingdom Sound.
Awesome, guys.
Woohoo! Looking forward to that.
I hope you're not singing it.
And then, no, you're not. And we also have David Nkeno.
We have David Nkeno. I think I've heard him once but
days.
I'm looking forward to an amazing time of worship.
And Folabi Noel.
And finally, but never the least, we have what?
Bethel Worship! Welcome to Nigeria!
Welcome to Nigeria. And I'm looking forward to, I'm confident that this is going to be an amazing service, an amazing time of fellowship.
Yeah.
There's so much that is planned for tonight, and I have that from superior authority. So just buckle up. And P says these things. I have an announcement from my sponsors.
Yeah.
The first time we were in the middle of class, and he said, "Message from my sponsors." And I was thinking, is he advertising these days? But really, he is. And so my sponsors say to tell you that they have prepared a table for you in the presence of your enemies, that your loving Heavenly Father has set up a table for you, a banquet, and He invites you to release yourself into that banquet. And that's what tonight is about, to love and be loved, the outpouring of God. And I'm going to just jump out and say some people are going to go home with a mantle of some sort today. So, look out for that. And if you're mantled, please, I'll see you in the corner.
Pastor Robbie.
Hallelujah. Come on now.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.